This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana. The coronavirus has captured headlines around the world. But this morning, Hoosier healthcare providers have another message.
You can't let your guard down. Influenza's out there.
Right now, why some hospitals are saying, don't come to the ER if you have the flu.
Don't build it in my backyard.
There is a plethora of available spaces in Broad Ripple, Glendale area.
Despite the green light, why some Broad Ripple advocates say they're against a new community center.
Hiring Hoosiers is headed to the farm.
I'd say within the next 15 years, I don't know that there'll be hardly anyone even doing it. So
this morning, the essential farming skill on the verge of being cut in Indiana if more people don't take to it.
Good morning to all of you on this Thursday. We want to thank you for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana.
Listen, you walk outside, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, you don't need your shearling coat.
Yeah, we don't need the wool coats, I guess you could say today. And Kyle Mounts is here with us, standing by with what the temperatures are like right now and what the difference has been over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, and you might be shedding some of those layers here as we go through the day. Temperatures are going to be warming up.
We heard that. We got that.
Yeah, this morning we got numbers that are running a little bit cooler, though, about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. The good news is the wind is really not much of a factor here to start things off. Our temperature 32 in downtown, upper 20s, Kokomo and Bloomington, both at 29, while it's at 35 in Martinsville. Show you Storm Team 6 radar satellite. We've got some clouds that'll be filtering on in, but still a fairly bright day of weather for us. And those temperatures this morning, as you head out the door, right around 30 degrees. But already by 10 a.m., we're into the lower 40s and middle 40s as we approach the lunch hour. Later on today, 57 will be that afternoon high. It will get breezy again. We'll have those winds 10 to 20, gusting a little bit higher than that. But it's a warmer wind. Tonight, the colder winds taking over. 31 could have a few rain and snow showers.
All right, Kyle, thanks so much. Here is a live look at traffic down in Johnson County. Good morning to you in Greenwood. This is I-65 near the Main Street exit. Camera froze up just a little bit on us here, but overall traffic is moving along up to speed. As you can see, no delays or crashes to slow you down. So let's take a look at your commute. Plan it out for you using our Traffic Now maps. On the west side here, starting in Brownsburg near State Road 267, as you hop on I-74 eastbound, it'll take you 7 minutes to get to the I-465 ramps.
Lauren, thank you. The time now is 6:02. Washing your hands and staying healthy is top of mind as the coronavirus continues to make headlines.
But doctors say you should also be paying close attention to the flu, which is seeing a big uptick so far this month. Our Kelsey Anderson is live this morning with what doctors are saying as the flu continues to be widespread. Kelsey, good morning.
Good morning. Well, it seems anywhere you go, people are talking about the coronavirus. At the grocery store, at restaurants, at high schools, at work, everywhere you go, that's what people are talking about. But with 69 deaths reported in Indiana, doctors say you should also be concerned about the flu. New flu numbers will be released tomorrow morning, but in their last report, the Indiana State Department of Health shows 69 Hoosiers have died from the flu, 14 of them here in Marion County. The flu remains widespread across the country, right now. In fact, according to their data, the flu is more prevalent now than it was at the end of December and into the new year.
You can't let your guard down. Influenza's out there, and the fact that it does spread through respiratory droplets, it's very contagious. So we really like people to watch their symptoms. If you're having fevers, especially body aches, things like that, stay at home.
Bachman says about 75 to 80% of the patients she sees right now are being tested for the flu. Now, she recommends staying home if you do have any of those symptoms for at least 5 days, which she says she knows can be hard for a lot of people to miss work and school for that long. But she says it's the most responsible thing you can do for your own health and for everyone around you. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV 6.
Great reminders, Kelsey. Thank you so much. Well, Indy Parks hopes to start construction on a new facility in Broad Ripple in the next few months, despite protests from some of the neighbors. The city approving a zoning change to allow a new family center and health clinic at Broad Ripple Park. The current family center will be torn down and replaced. The new facility is a partnership between the Parks Department and Community Health Network. Before the vote, members of the group Friends of Broad Ripple Park spoke out against the plan, but other neighborhood leaders say the group does not speak for the whole community.
We believe the current family center is perfectly adequate. Community Health Network currently has a doctor's office at 1095 Broad Ripple Avenue. They want to expand. Fine, expand, but not in our park. There is a plethora of available spaces in Broad Ripple, Glendale area.
I just want to reiterate there is broad-based community support for this project. I'm intimately aware, as you are, about the very limited funding that our Parks Department gets. I think the entire budget for capital improvements last year was south of $5 million. And none of that would go to Broad Ripple Park.
Indy Parks leaders say that the partnership is helping to fund that $19 million project.
At 6:05, we are working for you, and RTV6 is getting answers from neighbors reaching out to us about this issue in Delaware County. Let's take you there. People who live on Shirley Road in Muncie, they say a nearby business owner pumps water onto the road. Joanne and Doyd Grossman, they live next door to Beatty Excavating Construction. The couple says this has been happening for at least 2 years. The couple believes that this is dangerous.
Well, when the road freezes, it becomes a solid sheet of ice. And so we have school buses, we have commuters, we have students driving, and you can't stop.
I'm always afraid I'm going to hydroplane or somebody else is going to hydroplane to somebody's yard, trees, whatever. And it's just not a safe situation for anybody to go down through there.
On the other side of this issue, the owner of the company did not want to talk to RTV6 on camera, but he tells us he has to pump that water out of a gravel pit or else it floods the garage where he keeps his tools. He also says he's planning to start construction on a new building on the property, which would eliminate that problem. Now, we also reached out to Muncie officials about this issue. The city's engineer says he's talked to both sides and is working to identify and develop a resolution. We are committed to working for you and seeking solutions every day of the week. If you need help with a problem, if you're running into red tape, email us here at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
Working for you, we're asking the Indiana State Department of Health if it's ready with the resources to protect you if the coronavirus spreads into the Hoosier state. State Department of Health officials say a test kit allows up to 1,000 coronavirus tests to be performed. They tell us healthcare providers will collect samples from a patient and send those samples to a state health lab. Employees say they're confident they have the capacity to meet any demand for testing. This morning, there are no confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Indiana.
It is 6:07. A plant sitting empty right now up in Howard County will soon get new life. Today, state and Kokomo leaders will celebrate Fiat Chrysler's plan to transform the company's idled transmission plant building into a new engine plant. The transformation is a $400 million investment. Governor Holcomb first announced these plans during his State of the State address back in January. The new production will require more than 1,000 workers. The plant has been a fixture in Howard County since the 1950s. Also happening today, the downtown canal will turn orange. The change is meant to shine a spotlight on people living with multiple sclerosis. The MS Society says the disease affects more than 2 million people across the globe. The celebration will happen at noon today at Canal Basin on Ohio Street.
Now to the world of racing. A familiar face will once again take to the track at 16th and Georgetown Road. Columbus native Tony Stewart says he will race on the road course on the 4th of July. Stewart will appear in the Xfinity Series race on Brickyard Weekend. The two-time Brickyard winner was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame just last month. He wrapped up his NASCAR racing career after the 2016 season.
Cleanup continues this morning from the deadly tornadoes in Tennessee. New at 6:20, we're taking you inside the facility where Indianapolis leaders plan for similar emergencies. Kyle.
And we do have quiet weather here across central Indiana, more sunshine, and things are going to be hopping later on at Bankers Life Fieldhouse if you're going to be heading off for the Big Ten women's basketball tournament. Sunshine and breezy as those temperatures climb from 48 at noon into the middle 50s. We'll look ahead to the weekend in your 7-day planning forecast. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on RTV6.
Hoosiers only on RTV6.
It is 6:11 on your Thursday. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. We have our eyes on your roads, giving you two different looks across town. One here is I-65 to West Street and MLK. No problems heading into the downtown area from the northwest side. And then over here at I-465 and West 10th Street on the west side, we have a police car there on the scene, as you can see, but traffic is traveling up to speed in all directions. We'll keep you updated on any crashes or delays.
It is now time for Hiring Hoosiers, our way to connect you to jobs and ways to earn extra cash every single day.
Yeah, Indiana farmers, we can tell you that they are in need of some people to shear sheep, with less than a couple dozen left in the entire state who are trained for that job.
Amanda Starantino takes us to the farm to check out this part-time sheep shearing opportunity.
It is a shared skill in the Kennedy family.
My grandpa had sheep, and then my dad also had sheep, and they both sheared.
Colin Kennedy of Knightstown has been shearing since he was 13 years old. Now 27 with other full-time work. He shears part-time for farms across Indiana and neighboring states.
It's a great part-time to where you can still go to class and do this, or even, you know, someone that if you're working like a fireman or police or whatever, to where you're working a full shift and then you have a day or two off in between that you can come do something like this. It is good money for the hour.
His shearing skills keeps him busy. Colin is only one of about 20 professional shearers in Indiana.
I'm in high demand because not only do we go Indiana, we go into Kentucky and Ohio, Michigan, especially Kentucky, because there's nobody down there doing it, or Indiana, there's nobody doing it. And a lot of the older guys that have been doing it are starting to retire. I'd say within the next 15 years, I don't know that there will be hardly anyone even doing it. So they'll have to get people from out west or somewhere else to come in and do it.
It's a trend that local farmers like Gerald Kelly are keeping an eye on. Kelly is the Purdue University Sheep Unit's farm manager.
If it wasn't for the Kennedy family, we'd be really short on shears, and it'd be a lot harder for us to get sheep shears.
With 300 sheep in his flock, finding someone to give these animals their biannual haircuts is a necessity.
There's been a lot of them they retire from it or stop at different ages, everywhere from probably 50 to 70s. And there's been a lot of them retire in the last 5 to 8, 10 years.
On average, a sheep shearer will charge about $5 to $6 per head. So all in a day's work, you can make about $500 to $600 in a single day. There are roughly 57,000 sheep in the state based on the latest USDA inventory, and a little more than 40,000 were sheared last year. It's a job that is physically challenging, but for Colin, it's all worth it.
I do enjoy working with my hands and working hard. I mean, I know, like I said, it is hard, but I do enjoy actually working hard and feeling like you did a good day's work.
This weekend, you can attend shearing school, a workshop available to anyone interested in sheep shearing, regardless of experience. You can find the information to register on hiringhoosiers.com. Pretty unique.
Yeah, that is pretty unique. If you're breaking into the workforce or looking to make a career change, Hiring Hoosiers is connecting you right now to more opportunities. Today, Ivy Tech in Noblesville could help you find your next employer in a career fair that's going on. That event runs from 10 this morning until 2 this afternoon. Organizers say they've invited companies hiring full-time workers paying a minimum of $27,000 per year. Both entry-level jobs and experienced positions will be available, so good luck to them, good luck to you, and head up to Noblesville today and get hired if that's what you want to do.
All right, well, we got to talk about the forecast with Kyle Mountain. Really, my only complaint so far this week, Kyle, has been the wind. It's been a little chilly if you're heading out for a walk. Are we going to have that again today?
Yeah, it's going to be breezy again today. Now, the nice part is it'll at least be a warmer wind. Yesterday, that kind of leveled off our temperatures. It was coming out of the northwest, but today it will continue to boost those numbers heading into the afternoon. Right now, the wind is fairly light. We have temperatures in the 20s and 30s, 34 right now in Martinsville. Bloomington, you're at 29, lower 30s in Muncie and Tipton, right at the freezing mark in downtown Indianapolis. High pressure, that slides off to our east. We will be watching this little area of showers in portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin sliding our way, but that's not until this evening. Before then, we have that warmer southerly wind here, and occasionally could have some gusts over 20 miles per hour. I'll look at your Thursday planner, though. A few of those high thin clouds moving through this morning. We'll get back to full sunshine this afternoon, and already for the lunch hour, numbers are well into the 40s. We'll climb into the middle and upper 50s later on this afternoon. A couple of spots could even see 60 degrees here, so numbers are about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. Even around Marion, Indiana, you'll get to 54 this afternoon. Pair of 5s on the thermometer in Kokomo. Temperatures middle to upper 50s near I-70. Crawfordsville at 56, 59 in Shelbyville and Connorsville at 57. Same for you in Greensburg, and there's that pocket of 60s later today. Columbus and Seymour getting to around 60 degrees. Here's a look at that front. So this will be the first in 2 that will move through here over about the next 24 to 36 hours. Maybe a sprinkle, spotty shower this evening. Not going to be enough even that you need the umbrella. That other front moves through during the overnight into Friday, and we could see a few more showers here with some colder air in place, possibly some snowflakes that will mix in. It's not going to be a big deal. There's no accumulation with this, and I think the roads will be fine as temperatures have been pretty mild here recently, but it just comes with that shot of some colder air in the Friday forecast. So that's kind of the bump in the road. Temperatures have been pretty nice throughout the week, but tomorrow we do not move much. We will be stuck in the 30s, and it will feel colder because while it's breezy today, it will be a little more gusty heading into the day tomorrow. Those northwest winds now with that colder flow, with gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour through much of our Friday. 7-day planning forecast. The good news is we bounce back heading into the weekend with some sunshine on Saturday, 50 degrees. About 60 on Sunday. Rain returns early next week, especially on Monday, but notice that the mild temperatures will be sticking around, those highs in the 50s Monday right through Wednesday.
All right, Kyle, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on those roads. Here's the look over on the west side at this hour. I-465 in West 10th Street. You can see we do have a police vehicle there in the shoulder. It's not impacting your commute on the interstate northbound or southbound, and 10th Street is traveling up to speed as well. Let's take a look right now from our live drive vehicle. We're keeping a close eye on your roads as you're heading out there this Thursday. I-70 westbound. This is over near I-465 on the west side. Here you can see traffic moving along up to speed. So let's take you over to the west side and get a look at your drive times on I-70. This time heading eastbound towards the downtown area. A 12-minute drive between Ronald Reagan Parkway and I-65 at the south split.
The time now is 6:18, and we continue to follow new developments from that deadly tornado in Tennessee. This morning, the tornado hitting Putnam County, that's just east of Nashville, killing 25 people in what is now classified as an E4 tornado. The National Weather Service says that storm had winds of 175 miles per hour. 3 other tornadoes are rated an EF3 with winds of 155 miles per hour, including the one that moved through East Nashville. 2 tornadoes are rated as EF2 storms. Those storms with winds of 130 miles per hour. Now back here, the Storm Team 6 Tracking Center with meteorologist Kyle Mountain. Kyle, the National Weather Service has told us that tornado was on the ground at one point for about 50 miles. Right. How normal is that? Because that seems huge and a long time for that kind of storm to be on the ground.
It is, and one reason that we had all of the destruction because it was on the ground, and that's fairly rare. Each tornado is different, but we do see a little correlation with the stronger the tornado, the longer the amount of time that it can spend on the ground. But 50 miles is pretty rare. We typically only see those on the ground for about 3.5 miles on average.
At this point, officials say about 25 people have been killed through these multiple storms. A deadly storm. We've seen bigger storms in Indiana, but how rare is that? Is that about a current figure to have?
For Indiana, most of our tornadoes are on that lower end, EF0, EF1. So we're talking about weaker tornadoes that are on the ground for typically not very long distances. So this is pretty rare territory.
And working with you and Kevin and Alyssa and Todd every day, you always remind us just to be safe and to be aware every day.
Yeah, and that's just a reminder that, you know, we're getting into spring and severe weather season. It's already starting across the country. So make sure that you are prepared. Make sure you've got multiple ways to get warnings and practice that safety plan at home with your family.
Kyle, thank you so much. Be prepared is the message today and every day.
All right, it is 6:20, and this morning we're finding out more about how the city of Indianapolis is working to keep you safe when severe weather could impact central Indiana.
This is the Marion County Emergency Operations Center, or the EOC for short. When activated, the EOC brings together public health, safety, and service agencies to help get emergency messages and plans out to you. The EOC often goes into action when there are severe weather warnings, tornadoes, flooding, and power outages, and they coordinate how they're going to respond to emergency situations.
So keeping Indianapolis safe is making sure we get our message out for everyone to be prepared for our weather on that. And then the other part, again, is that coordinated effort between all the entities, that nobody's doing just one thing, that we're all working together for one common goal, and that is to make sure that we are helping everybody that needs to be helped. making sure that the power's getting put on, making sure that any kind of debris that needs to be cleaned out and any type of medical attention that needs to be rendered.
Since the weather is quiet here in central Indiana, now is a great time to make sure you have a way to get severe weather warnings. The Storm Shield app verbally alerts you anytime a severe weather warning is issued. It's available for free in your smartphone's marketplace. Just search Storm Shield.
A memorable night in the books for Butler fans as the school's outgoing mascot, Blue 3, coming up at 6:26. We'll take you to Blue's last game before running into retirement. Oh, look at that. That guy always hungry, I think. The time now is 6:22. You're watching Good Morning Indiana.
Get a conversation started.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 6:24. Here's a live look as the sun is about to make a big appearance, always showing off this time of day. We want to remind you that daylight savings time kicks off this weekend, and that means to move your clock forward 1 hour, which means all of us on Good Morning Indiana will lose an hour of sleep. So, ladies, please show up to work on time Monday.
Don't worry about us. Just we can't promise that we're going to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Why not?
That's all I'm saying.
Why not? I cannot listen. I love sunrises. Can't wait to see what it looks like. Yesterday was absolutely beautiful. It's just always amazing to see what the sun does. So
Perks of waking up
yes.
early.
there has to be a perk at 6:25.
Okay. One of my favorite perks of this time of year is all the Easter candy for sale.
I agree.
Big Starburst Jelly Bean gal.
Okay.
But, you know, some people want to put things other than candy or toys in an Easter basket. So here's one option. Crocs and Marshmallow Candy Maker Peeps teaming up to launch a line of footwear. They're available in Peeps signature blue, yellow, or pink, and come with the Peeps-shaped charms. They should be in stores starting next week.
Are those edible?
Are hideous.
Are those
As
edible?
if Crocs aren't bad
I
enough.
don't think so. Sorry, Raphael.
All right. Well, a pass by Boston Celtics player Kemba Walker could be considered a party foul. Walker was attempting to pass the ball to former Hoosier Romeo Langford. Instead, a man sitting courtside caught the ball with his beer, then ended up wearing the beer. If sitting drenched in beer isn't bad enough, the fan actually had to sit through overtime, and his Celtics lost.
Oh,
look at that guy. He's
that's
like,
going to
oh
be a
man, that's
hefty
probably
dry
expensive
cleaning
beer.
bill.
Yeah.
Well, despite a Butler win over St. John's last night, it was a sentimental one at Hinkle Fieldhouse. It was Tripp's last game. After 8 years, Blue 3 is running into retirement. His handler, Michael Coltonmark, is also retiring after 16 years. Blue 4 is set to take over next season with a new handler, 2016 Butler grad Evan Krause. I want to point out that when he was here last week, that cute puppy, he sat right here with a big old bone. He just slobbered everywhere. So I just want to, you're sitting on the slobber, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we cleaned it.
Hopefully, yeah.
That's what we'll go with anyway.
Oh, my goodness.
I think Todd did before he left.
Okay.
All right, let's check out that forecast. You know that Todd, he's always cleaning. All right, we got 57 with mostly sunny skies. It will be a little breezy today, but feeling pretty good out there. If you do have some travel, the severe weather threat, that's going to be across portions of the panhandle of Florida, also into southern Georgia, southeast Alabama today, and that's where we've got some rain moving through, so any connections through Atlanta might be slowed down a little bit. There are some colder temperatures. They're going to be moving in for the end of our week. That'll take highs to 38 on Friday, but we're going to rebound quickly, 50 by Saturday.
Kyle, thank you. Yesterday on Good Morning Indiana, we told you how coronavirus concerns are leading to high prices on face masks.
And so this morning, our John Matarese is looking into laws to prevent similar actions with hand sanitizer so you don't waste your money.
$100 for a bottle of Purell hand sanitizer, $200 for a face mask. Price gougers are taking advantage of coronavirus fears to make money, which leads to the question, aren't there laws to stop this? Earlier this week, we found all sorts of Amazon and eBay sellers profiting from the coronavirus crisis. One seller was asking $886 for a pack of masks. Purell hand sanitizer was selling for more than $100 a bottle. Amazon says it's removing listings like these, but it's like a game of whack-a-mole. You see, there are no federal laws prohibiting this. 35 states have anti-gouging laws, but it usually must be during a declared state of emergency, according to Forbes magazine. Find a case of gouging, report it to the state attorney general's office. Forbes says legitimate retailers like supermarkets are not going to gouge shoppers because consumers remember it long after the crisis is gone. So while they may run out, they won't charge you 5 times the price, and you don't waste your money. I'm John Matteries. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday morning, here is your 6:30 news feed. Today, all Eastern Hancock schools will be closed. The superintendent says so many students called in sick Wednesday, they had to close the high school, middle, and elementary schools. Reported illnesses include the flu, strep throat, and bronchitis. Today will be an e-learning day there.
Indianapolis Power and Light has been given the go-ahead to modernize its electric grid. The plan is estimated to cost $1.2 billion. At public hearings held last year, IPL said customers can expect to see rate increases of up to 1.3% every year until 2026. IPL says it will have a better idea of what that increase will be in July.
West Lafayette has approved tax incentives for Swedish car maker Saab to build a new plant. The plant will not make cars, however. It will actually produce parts for a new U.S. Air Force training jets. Saab says the new plant will bring about 200 new jobs to the area.
Today, the Girl Scouts will make giving blood a little sweeter for donors. They're giving away, listen up, free boxes of Thin Mints. You can get them if you give blood at Verserti Blood Centers locations in Indianapolis, Fishers, Carmel, Greenwood, and Lafayette. Verserti Blood Centers are also used to be the Indiana Blood Centers. You can make appointments online or by phone. Walk-ins are also welcome. I will be there. You can have as much blood as you want. I want
Thin Mints.
The cookie. All right. How sweet it is. And the weather pretty sweet today. More sunshine ahead of us.
Yeah, we got some more mild temperatures. March starting off pretty good for us here. It changes a little bit tomorrow, but let's enjoy today. As you head out there this morning, we got numbers upper 20s to lower 30s, a little bit of a breeze. So that's giving us a wind chill factor. Feels like 25 in downtown. Actual temperature is 32. Feels like 24 in Bloomington. Your temperatures have slipped into the upper 20s. Here's a look at the wind. Again, it's nothing crazy out there this morning, under 10 miles per hour, and it's out of that warmer southeasterly direction. But as we go through the day, the wind starts to crank up a little bit. Still going to be out of the south direction here as we go through the afternoon. Going to have some occasional gusts over 20 miles per hour, but tonight we'll actually see that wind increasing a little bit and coming out of the west with some colder temperatures. Here's a look at the satellite and radar. All is nice and quiet. We'll wait until later this evening for a couple of sprinkles out of that system to the northwest. So mix of sun and clouds here as we go through the day. Breezy. Those temperatures close to 50 at noon. We'll be in the middle to upper 50s for a high.
All right, Kyle, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now from our live drive vehicle. This is a dash cam view. Our photographer Shay Goodpaster is in the driver's seat right now, traveling eastbound on 465 near Emerson Avenue. Good morning to you in Beach Grove. Traffic here looks to be traveling up to speed. Of course, we'll keep you updated on any crashes or delays. But right now, around the metro area, no issues for your morning commute. So this morning and for many mornings in the near future, cleanup will continue here in those from the devastating tornadoes that hit Middle Tennessee.
25 people died in those tornadoes on Tuesday, 18 of them in one neighborhood in Putnam County. That's just east of Nashville. As Matthew Torres with our Scripps station in Nashville tells us this morning, there are also incredible stories of survival and stories of hope.
It's all this is going.
Lauren Neal admits she doesn't know exactly what she's doing.
They clothed us, they fed us.
But picking up what she can salvage.
My phone! And it's on! With the emergency alert.
Seems to be a good start.
That's my grandmother. And my oldest daughter, who's now 25.
Tuesday's EF3 tornado in Cookeville was relentless, flattening her home on Charlton Square down to the concrete foundation.
Ooh.
Material things now don't matter, not after the chaos her family went through.
Not sure how we survived and other people didn't, but happy, sad.
She remembers seeing the warning, but by the time she got up to get a hold of her teenage daughter, Mother Nature unleashed an unforgiving wrath.
My daughter was in her room, and she has hearing problems, so she wasn't wearing her hearing aids, so I had to yell really loud. She can't hear, but not well. She sat up, and the next thing I know is I'm looking at her face, and the whole, just front of the house was gone, and a door came and hit me, and I was just holding that door while getting hit with everything and things going, and eating insulation and wood and thinking, I don't think I'm gonna survive this.
Neal ended up on top of her house with her dog on her lap. That dog eventually died. Her daughter, ripped away, survived too, landing in, of all places, her neighbor's pool.
But she's alive.
A day later, she's back to what's left of what she once called home for 15 years. She may not know exactly what she's doing, but expressing gratitude to a community is another start that seems to see no end.
This community is amazing. I've never had to deal with something like this. There's not words other than thank you, but they're not enough.
Emotional moments during the recovery there in Nashville. That was reporter Matthew Torres from our Scripps station in Nashville. The National Weather Service is still surveying the damage from those tornadoes. And that tornado that hit Putnam County is now rated as an EF4 with winds up to 175 miles an hour. The Weather Service also says one tornado from the storm system stayed on the ground for an incredible 50 miles. They believe it is the longest track for a tornado on record in Middle Tennessee.
Here at 6:34, washing our hands and staying healthy is top of mind for almost everyone right now as the coronavirus makes its way into the United States. But the coronavirus isn't the only thing we should be worried about. Urgent cares across Indianapolis say they are seeing many flu cases in March, as many flu cases here in March as they did in December, which is usually the peak of flu season. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with what doctors are saying as the flu continues to be widespread. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So hand sanitizer, sanitizing wipes, and face masks. Stores just can't seem to keep them on their shelves as the coronavirus comes into the United States. But doctors say we still need to be worrying and considering the flu. As of last week, the Indiana State Department of Health recorded 69 flu-related deaths in Indiana this season, 14 of them being right here in Marion County. Yesterday, we spoke to a nurse practitioner from IU Health, and she says nearly 80% of the patients she sees on a daily basis are being tested for the flu. She says the best thing you can do if you are feeling sick is to stay home.
Really just taking care of yourself. I know that we all have to work, we all have to go to school, but if we are positive for influenza, staying home, doing adequate hand washing, and really remaining out of public places.
The flu remains widespread across the country right now. In fact, according to the CDC, their data shows that the flu is more prevalent right now than it was at the end of December and into the new year. Now, Bachman says missing school or work for up to 5 days can be hard for a lot of people, but it's the most responsible thing you can do for your own health and for everyone else's health around you. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. And as for the coronavirus, another death from COVID-19 is being reported. It's the first death in the state of California, and the governor there has declared a state of emergency. California officials say the man who died was likely exposed to that virus during a cruise on the Grand Princess, which had traveled from San Francisco to Mexico. Testing kits are now being flown aboard that ship by the Coast Guard after a number of new passengers and crew members complained of flu-like symptoms. In addition to the entire state of California, we can tell you Los Angeles County also declared a local state of emergency.
We need every tool at our disposal to make sure we're ready to support any coronavirus patients who are diagnosed and to prevent any further spread.
Overall, there have been 11 deaths in the United States from the new coronavirus, with the majority of those in Washington state. King County, Washington has set up a temporary quarantine village for those who have the virus. In Washington, Congress has agreed to a spending package of more than $8 billion to address the virus. The Senate is expected to vote on that package today.
The time running out for state lawmakers. Coming up, the bills moving forward and the ones that are on life support as this legislative session begins to wind down.
One bill that is still alive that could put some money back in your pocket. We'll show you how it might help you if you have a gift card for a company that suddenly goes out of business. It's 6:38. We'll be right back.
Thrill, Marshalls, your surprise is waiting.
The end of the 2020 legislative session is just days away, so we wanted to give you an update on the potential new laws you could soon see and some closely watched bills that failed to pass.
So here's a look at some of the bills that are still alive at this moment. A bill that could lead to the removal of the Attorney General, Curtis Hill, has now advanced. It would create new standards for the position, and if Hill's law license is suspended, he would no longer qualify. Also, cities across the state would have to enforce new panhandling laws under a bill that passed the House. One of those laws would prohibit panhandling within 50 feet of parking meters or restaurant entrances. And a bill requiring schools to teach cursive writing passed the Senate and now heads back to the House for further consideration.
And a couple of bills that will not become law this year. A bill that would have given pregnant women more accommodations at work has failed, and a proposal to House Bill 1004 that would have allowed insurance companies to repay hospitals at lower rates for services not provided in the facility was struck down. The session is scheduled to wrap up by March 11th.
And another bill that's close to being passed might give you some money back if you have a gift card that you can't use anymore. It would require stores that go out of business in Indiana to pay you if you have a leftover balance on a gift card that you've already paid for. The bill would allow the state attorney general to go to court to get your money back by adding gift cards to the state's consumer protection laws. The bill passed in the House, but it did not get a hearing in the Senate. However, the gift card proposal was added to a criminal code bill. It's now part of the same bill that seeks to restrict panhandling in downtown Indianapolis.
Also at the State House, more than 1,000 pink cards will be hung on clotheslines and strung across the South Atrium as part of Clothesline Day. The initiative aims to reduce the number of sexual assault, domestic violence, and human trafficking cases in Indiana. Right now, Indiana ranks 4th highest in the nation for the number of reported rapes among high school girls, and 1 in 5 Hoosier females have been sexually assaulted. Organizers hope the display will encourage legislators to bring Indiana up to date in terms of sexual assault laws.
Next on Good Morning Indiana, an emotional night in Bulldog Country. Coming up, one last trip at Hinkle Fieldhouse for the Bulldog mascot whom everyone loves, and for the man who has been at his side all these years. Here's a guy that we all love this morning right now, our Carl Mounts.
And we're loving this view. Check out another beautiful sunrise here across central Indiana this morning. We got a mix of sun and clouds as the kids are heading off to the bus stop. Temperatures right around 30 degrees. More sunshine this afternoon as temperatures make their way back into the 50s. We'll look ahead to some changes in your Friday forecast and the weekend. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on WRTV 6.
Oh, Keller and Keller. Right now.
Welcome back. It is 6:45 on your Thursday morning. Here's a live look from our live drive vehicle traveling on the east side right now in the westbound lanes of I-70 near Emerson Avenue. You can see traffic is moving along smoothly this morning. No major issues around the metro area to slow you down. Well, the Hoosiers took a big step towards an at-large bid to the NCAA men's tournament. Former Southport star Joey Brunk was a big factor for IU against Minnesota last night. Brunk had 12 points and 8 rebounds. Center Grove's own Trace Jackson Davis led the Hoosiers with 18 points as they beat the Golden Gophers 72-67. IU will try to get its 20th win of the season in Saturday's regular season finale when they host Wisconsin.
The Butler Bulldogs also had a big win last night over St. John's, but that win was bittersweet because it was the final home game for Tripp, the Bulldogs mascot for the past 8 years. It was also the final game for the man who has handled the mascot for almost 2 decades. We talked to Michael Colton-Mark about the game as he looked back one last trip.
Officially, well, sort of, at least as far as home games are concerned. This was Butler Blue III's last home game at Hinkle Fieldhouse after an 8-year run. So definitely bittersweet, but he's definitely earned a nice retirement. It's my last go around as well. I'll be helping Evan Krause and Blue the Fourth in the future, but this is my dog making his last run and my last run with him, and it got to me. And it's not just Tripp, Blue the Third, it's Blue the Second as well. It's been a 16-year span, and so for me to hang it up after this, it's bittersweet for me as well. We poured our heart and soul into this, and not just be my family as well, and so this moment special to us for sure.
Now, Tripp isn't done quite yet. He doesn't officially retire until the end of the school year in May. His replacement is Butler Blue 4. He will simply be called Blue. He is still in training and will take over after commencement.
All right, we got to get a check of our Thursday forecast. Maybe you're taking the dog out on a walk today.
Gonna be some nice weather out there, Kyle.
Yeah, you know, the last couple of weeks we've really had to fight the muddy paws if you are a dog owner, and so it's nice that we're drying things out for that and just the yards overall. We need a break from all of the rainfall, and we'll see that again today. Temperatures starting off this morning in the upper 20s, lower 30s, 33 in Martinsville, Muncie at 31, and Richmond coming in at 25. High pressure continuing to scoot off to the east, so yeah, there is another chance for some rain with this system back to the northwest. But you notice this is a very narrow band. I think we see some sprinkles, maybe a couple of very isolated showers later today. Before that happens, the winds are out of the south, and that's going to be warming us up already into the middle 40s here by 11 a.m. So you're getting ready for the lunch hour today. Not bad if you're heading out. Just a little breezy with temperatures around 50 degrees, and we'll get into the middle 50s. Quite a bit of sunshine for the afternoon. So there's that wind, about 10 to 20 miles per hour. We could have a couple of gusts a little bit higher than that for us through the afternoon, but that will get you to 60 degrees today in Columbus. Feeling nice there. 56 in Muncie and Lafayette on the Purdue campus. 59 in Bloomington. So TrueCast, as we go into this evening, by 4 o'clock, we start to see a few of those clouds. That's that system that we were looking at back into portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin this morning. There you can see just the very isolated light showers this evening. Not enough for the umbrella. We get actually another cold front that's going to be moving our way here overnight tonight into Friday, and you can see a little more moisture with that one. Could have a few snowflakes that mix in too. I know this looks a little ominous going into tomorrow morning's drive. I think we could have some light rain and snow showers out there, but the ground is still warm, so I don't think we're going to have many problems out there on the roadways. And again, it's all going to be on the light side. Friday forecast, the bigger story I think is going to be the temperatures. They are not going to be mild tomorrow. Instead, we'll need more of the layers with numbers in the 30s, and that's only part of the story because it will be breezy once again. We're talking about wind gusts tomorrow that'll be over 30 miles per hour out of the northwest. So that's going to take those wind chills and keep them into the 20s as we head through the afternoon. And even as we go into tomorrow evening, we've got wind gusts around 20 miles per hour. It's short-lived, though. With that cold snap, we are bouncing right back as we go into the weekend ahead. 50 degrees on Saturday, 60 on Sunday. Both days will come with some sunshine, but yeah, it will be breezy there too. Next chance for some widespread rain, that's going to arrive on Monday, and some smaller shower chances sticking around through the middle of next week, and highs in the 50s.
All right, Kyle, thanks so much. Here's a look from our live drive vehicle as our photographer Shea Goodpaster is heading onto the north split, hopping onto northbound I-65. He hit a little bit of a pocket of slow traffic here heading in from westbound I-70. No word on any crashes in this area. May just be a little bit busier as we head into your rush hour, with folks merging here into the downtown area. We'll continue to monitor this spot and keep you updated.
One of the biggest music events in history, and you won't believe how long it's been since it happened. Next is Throwback Thursday, and we look at how Indianapolis reacted to that legendary song. We'll be right back.
Weekdays from 4:30 to 7.
Welcome back. It is 6:54. We're monitoring road conditions from our live drive vehicle. Our photographer Shea Goodpaster made it through the north split without too many delays. Right now he's on northbound I-65, a little north of 21st Street, heading to the northwest side. Traffic here is moving along just fine.
It is Throwback Thursday time, and it's hard to believe. It's been 35 years. I think I was in 3rd grade. 35 years since we are the world.
The group was called USA for Africa. It was organized largely by legendary producer Quincy Jones, singer and activist Harry Belafonte, and the song was written by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie.
Well, proceeds from the song went to help with famine relief in Africa, and it made a huge splash across the country and right here in Indianapolis. If you remember, record stores, something you don't really see too much of anymore. We Are the World flew off the store shelves. Former RTV6 reporter Greg Todd went to Peaches Records just after this song came out, and it seemed like everyone wanted a copy.
So only the $1.98 single is available now, but a 12-inch single is on its way, and a full album should be out in a few weeks. Peach's store director, Don Ray, says in the 12 hours they've had the single, they've sold at least 75 copies.
This is probably selling more in one day than we sell of any other in a month.
This store only has about 20 copies left, but is ordering as many more as it can get a hold of. There are several reasons behind the popularity of the song. All the hype it's received, the 46 music stars who appear, and of course the cause, world hunger. But it's also written by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, a couple of guys with some experience selling records.
We Are the World was also in high demand at area radio stations. The phones rang off the hook at FM 97 WENS long before it was Hank FM. By the way, what you're seeing here is called a cart. It looks like an old 8-track tape from way back when, Raphael. That's how most radio stations used to play all of their songs, in case you don't remember. You can see this entire story right now at theindychannel.com/history. I love how producer Ray let me tell you about how that works.
And so for the record, you know that a record is circular, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a record player.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
They're very trendy.
Okay.
Again, so.
They're making a comeback.
They're making a comeback.
These kids these days, they're bringing it back.
I know all about those.
All right.
All right. Well, that put us in a good mood to kick off our Thursday morning, and the weather will as well, Kyle.
Yeah, we're not going to break any records today, but we've got some nice weather, and the JW Marriott is all decked out for the Big Ten women's basketball tournament today.
Okay.
And they are going to have some great weather there, too. This morning we got temperatures upper 20s, lower 30s, and as we go through the day, a mix of sun and clouds, a little breezy this afternoon, with those temperatures making their way into the middle and upper 50s. Here's a look at that wind. It will be breezy this afternoon, but even tonight, it gets a little bit gusty, and that starts to bring in some colder air for the end of the week. Friday's high, just 38 degrees, so prepare yourself for that few rain and snow showers in the mix as well.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much, and thank you guys for joining us. We're back here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America.
All your news throughout the day can be found on the RTV6 app.
Thank you for being a part of our world. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Enjoy Good Morning America next, right here on RTV6.